the University of Northern Iowa. We're trying to set up a STEM center there, which is a Regents initiative, and I'll talk about that in a moment. I'd like to start with Senior Year Plus, currently being debated in the legislature as House Study Bill 649 and Senate Study Bill 3160. First, I want to thank and recognize Representatives Roger Wendt and Cindy Winkler for their leadership in bringing Senior Year Plus out of committee. And Cindy is welcome. Thank you for being with us. I encourage the legislature to take up this legislation and move it along as quickly as they can. Senior Year Plus will bring existing programs for college credit, such as advanced placement and community college courses, under one umbrella to make options more accessible for students, parents, and teachers. This bill will create the opportunity for every student in the state to have access to at least 30 hours of college credit while they are still in high school, regardless of their career path, or where they live, family income, or where they go to school. If you go to high school in Des Moines, Iowa right now, you're lucky. You have countless opportunities to take and receive college credit for college-level courses. In fact, some students earn as much as 2 years of college credit before they graduate from high school. As a result, the Des Moines Independent School District receives nearly $1 million in state funding to offer these students these dual enrollment opportunities. But the problem is there are at least 70 school districts where tens of thousands of kids go to school in the state of Iowa right now, which have zero access to dual college enrollment courses. Countless other school districts offer a limited number of college level courses, certainly not up to 2 years like we have in Des Moines. So I believe this is an issue of fairness that needs to be addressed immediately, in this legislation that we've introduced, thanks to Representative Winkler and others that's moved forward, will deal with this inequity related to those college level courses and which students in the state have the chance to take them. Number two, I'd like to take a moment to talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. This is another initiative we've proposed that's also fortunately moving along. The bottom line is we must be prepared and have a prepared workforce in the future to meet our 21st century challenges in Iowa. I ran for governor to build on our strengths in agriculture and manufacturing and education to create good jobs in every part of the state. So far, we're having some luck. Since I've taken office, we've worked to help create 7,000 new quality jobs, including 1,800 new green-collar jobs across the state. We're on our way towards making Iowa the renewable energy capital of the United States. So it's critical now that we make sure we have a talented workforce and a prepared workforce to take on the new jobs that are coming to Iowa. Those of you who are here today are well aware that Iowa faces a potential workforce shortage of up to 150,000 skilled positions in the next 5 years. So to meet this challenge, we need a workforce that's best in the world in science and technology, engineering, and math. So we need to raise the bar and make sure that we have qualified teachers in our classrooms for these important subjects. Unfortunately, recent studies show that we've got some work to do. Only 10% of secondary, 10% of secondary positions currently in the state of Iowa in math and science are unfilled because of the lack of qualified applicants. In addition, 50% of all new math and science teachers leave the classroom within the first 5 years. But I believe these challenges also present the state with real opportunities. Based on the findings of the first ever Governor's Workforce Summit that we held last year, I'm proposing the Regents Math and Science Technology and Engineering Initiative. It would be a $4.7 million project, and the program would be housed at the University of Northern Iowa, which is why President Allen is with us this morning. This will help us double the number of math and science teachers coming out of our Regents teacher education programs and get them into Iowa classrooms. I believe we have an unlimited opportunity ahead of us, And I believe that we can create in Iowa the Silicon Valley of the Midwest if we have a prepared workforce ready for these new exciting jobs of the future. And I'm looking forward to working with the Republicans and Democrats upstairs to get these two education initiatives moving along into my desk as soon as possible. With that, I will now introduce President Ben Allen from the University of Northern Iowa, and he has a number of comments to make, and then we'll hear from our other speakers as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor Culver, for your strong support of the region's universities, but also education at all levels, and we appreciate that very much. And of course, we really thank you for your support of our region's Math and Science Education Collaborative Initiative, or the STEM initiative, as we might call it. And I also want to acknowledge Representative Winkler for her hard work in getting this moving forward and her support for the Math and Science Initiative. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I will keep my comments very brief. I believe it is critical that we move on this now in this area of STEM education. The governor has outlined the linkage between STEM excellence in the state of Iowa and for the Iowa to be competitive in the 21st century global economy. I characterize it as a perfect storm being created. Three factors coming together at one time. First, the new economy demands more math and science preparation by our students, by our workforce. Information solutions, advanced manufacturing, and of course bioscience, which is tied to the biorenewables. All of these areas require individuals who are better prepared in math and science. And that foundation is laid in the pre-K through 12 experience. Secondly, there's growing evidence Iowa's slipping in math and science. We have a long history of excellence in education. There is growing evidence that our position nationally and internationally is slipping in this area of STEM. 8th graders now rank 18th in the U.S. on the National Assessment of Educational Progress in the area of mathematics. 50% of the ACT ready for college, 50% of the students taking the ACT are not ready for the college algebra, which is the gateway course for other math and science courses, and in fact probably a gateway to careers. 25% of the students in Iowa, only 25% of the students in Iowa take physics, and even a smaller percentage take computer courses. The third part of this perfect storm is the current and growing shortage of qualified teachers that the governor alluded to. This is exacerbated by a couple factors. There's more demand, will be more demand for math and science teachers in pre-K through 12 because of some changes, good changes, in the core requirements for math and science. More courses have to be taken. There's also nutrition. In the first 5 years, nationally, about 50% of math and science teachers leave. That's probably pretty close to where it is in the state of Iowa. And we have retirements looming on the horizon. And fourth is the fact that the pipeline of people coming into the profession of teaching math and science is not very large. One statistic I saw is somewhat eye-opener that we have over 100 physics teachers in the state of Iowa ready and maybe willing to retire based upon their time at the institutions and their age. But we had 14 physics teachers coming out of our regional universities this past year. We are at a critical juncture. It's a national problem, of course. It's not just the state of Iowa. But I would like to take note that 28 or 29 other states are taking large steps in addressing the STEM issue. And they have fairly large projects underway. The three goals of the center that will be housed at UNI, but working closely together with faculty and staff at the University of Iowa, Iowa State University, University of Iowa, there are three basic goals: to improve the performance of all Iowa students, every girl, every boy, of every race and ethnicity. Second, prepare more highly qualified teachers for both urban schools, rural schools, small and large. And to promote collaboration so that we can take full advantage of all the projects and all the wisdom and all the creativity out there in the state of Iowa now being exhibited. It is a collaboration of those three universities, but more importantly, it will be a partnership that will be extended to leaders in government at all levels, private industry, pre-K through 12 schools, private and community colleges, and non-governmental organizations to maximize the effort and the impact.